We have a question from Bree, and I think Bree is from either Canada or the UK or another one of the Commonwealth countries. Bree says this: I am 38 years old, female, and I've been training with kettlebells for 6 months. I'm delighted with the increase in my strength. I find it much easier to carry my children or twirl them through the air. I think the best part of being a lifetime lifter is when we were at swimming pools when my daughters were little, I would throw them like cabers, Highland Game cabers. And that's just a delightful memory. And I started doing it with my grandkids a few years ago, and just phenomenal. So I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. I'm a volunteer firefighter, including SCBA, and my extra strength helps me there too. My upper body has also gained a lot of muscle mass. Unfortunately, I suffer from severe migraine attacks. I'm sorry about that. The attacks can last for several days. I am undergoing treatment. Before we get on to that, my mom suffered from migraines, and I've been never had the issue. But here in Salt Lake City, we have a really good doctor who specializes in it. His name is Dr. Dan Henry. I taught his children, and of course, there was a tragedy that really got him into this field. And it's nice to know that, in about the 30 years that he's been doing this, that we've made real advances in dealing with this issue. So I do hope the best for you, Bree, and I hope you get some medical intervention. As I would like to lose some fat, I have bought Easy Strength for Fat Loss. Great read. Thank you. The crisp, short, simple training sessions in the morning are perfect for me. Instead of walking, I cycle to work afterwards, which is a great idea, and then you get that extra cycle to come home. Unfortunately, I can't fast. Not eating breakfast regularly triggers a migraine for me. How could I adapt the program so I could lose fat? Or would you recommend a different program? Well, okay, so part of the magic of Easy Strength for Fat Loss is training while fasted. I've never actually thought that the difference in calories was a big deal. There's probably, in a few years, we'll get some research that training while fasted is great. But honestly, if you're looking at calories in, calories out, having it might not matter at all. And this is what I want to talk to you about. The one thing I didn't get was your height. One thing I'd recommend is I'm in a place in my career where I'm starting to think that instead of using body weight as the caloric number for, Kiko, calories in, calories out, that we use height as a better one. I got this from Brad Pilon and John Barbin, and once I looked at the numbers, it was just so logical for me. So the first thing I'm recommending, if you can look up the work of John and Brad and just get back to me, or you can, you would find this in a number of their works. I know in Brad's new books, he covers it well. But the first thing I would do is, we know it's calories in, calories out. Now, it is true. I know everyone hates Gary Taubes again with the big fat lie. There is insulin. There is all those other factors are true. I also think that the body has a great memory. I think your fat cells remember being fat in the same way that I know your muscle cells remember lifting weights. That research is from the 1940s. If you lift weights and get strong and it takes you 5 years and then quit for a year, you can get right back to the old numbers fairly quickly. Maybe not, of course, if you're, competitive power lifter, Olympic lifter, time is a brutal friend. So the first thing I'd like you to think about is calories in, calories out is true. So the first thing I want you to think about is how much protein you should have a day. From what I'm hearing, Bree, I would put you a little higher on the protein needs scale. Now, you can't trust me. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm already out of my scope of practice, but let's just say you need 90 calories a day. So we'll round that up. Protein has 4 calories per gram or something like that. If I'm wrong, no one cares. Let's just round it up and say you need 100 calories a day. So somewhere between 400 and 500 calories a day should be your protein. From there, I would pull out like things you just have to have. It's interesting we have this conversation. The other day, somebody said to me, well, Dan, what do you have to have? And I made the joke, well, Irish whiskey. Well, so I looked it up, and a shot of Irish whiskey has 70 calories. And I thought to myself, what would be a good way to destroy every night? And I thought, well, 7 times 70 calories. That still only gets me up to 490, 500 calories. I'm not, by the way, Bree, I'm not telling you to drink 7 shots of Irish whiskey every night. That's not what I mean. But what I would do first, double check your protein. So number 1, get a general number for how many calories you need a day. Number 2, look at your protein numbers. Number 3, look at the foods that you think your non-negotiables that you want every day. Weirdly for me, I don't eat. I'm not trying to be some, Jack LaLanne or some hero or anything. I've been blessed by not having any kind of sugar tooth at all. I don't eat birthday cake, and I never have. I don't like cake. There are certain pies I like, sure. But I can go without pie for decades and not even notice it. Candy, I'll have even last night I had a Hershey's Kiss, and I was like, oh yeah, that was good. I don't know how many calories in a Hershey's Kiss, but if there's a certain food or drink that you just have to have every day, put that number in second. So first in your calorie number, second is that food or 2 or 3 or 4 that you have to have every day. For me, I eat a lot of berries, I eat a lot of fruit, and it's funny when people say, somebody said to me the other day, I was talking about all the berries I ate, they said, aren't berries fattening? And I thought to myself, I challenge anybody to get fat eating just berries. The first day you might get satiation, but there's going to be some, let's say, digestive and elimination issues that'll be far beyond the scope of this small podcast. Your protein number, your cheat number. The next level I would look at is your berries, your fruit number. Almost universally, we can sweep the hand and say most vegetables are okay. Now, the tuber family, the potatoes and things like that, you might have to account for those. But, when you read the work of Greg O'Gallagher, and he talks about, eating, a massive protein meal like steak and a big baked potato to lean up, well, that's because he's doing the calories in, calories out model, and you can pull off that. So, your protein, your have-tos, your fruits and other things like that. That could even include drinks with calories, though I really recommend. I got black coffee here. I drink a lot of tea, black coffee, and water. They're all no calories. In my fridge, I do have bottled water, and I also have diet soft drinks if I just need that little hit of some taste. Vegetables are basically free except for tubers. If you go through the math on this, and you probably only have to do it once, you're going to find that you can probably not fast if you take care of those numbers. As always, the devil's in the details. But if you focus on protein, don't think I'm not going backwards. But if you focus on protein, your fruit and berry family, your liquids, your non-caloric liquids, if you look at those, most vegetables are kind of free. And then if you do eat potatoes, you'd look at those. You probably will notice that's a lot of food to cover whatever caloric needs you need a day. The second thing I'd like you to think about, Bree, so calories in, calories out, do the math, do it once. You'll notice I didn't mention bread and waffles and most of our grain family because they are intensively high in calories. I want to do a video on, there's a brand of chips that are over here at the grocery store, and I looked at the bag the other day and it said 170 calories per serving. I looked at the bag and I said, oh, that's not bad. And then I found, as I looked at it, I think I have all the numbers right, is that there's 17 servings in that bag. Well, when you open the bag and you break it out into 17 servings, what you end up with tortilla chips, you don't have very many chips in your hand to get 170 calories. The protein drink that I have is usually drink is 160 calories. I guarantee this, I could eat a whole bag of tortilla chips or potato chips. Guarantee it. I know I can do it. I don't think I can drink 17 servings of a protein drink in the same amount of time. So if you need to lose weight, you just have to realize that what I call cardboard carbohydrates are death to you. And I know the sad part is, as I'm saying this right now, somebody in the food industrial complex is listening to me and going, we got to figure a way to get, those, to be salmon so you can't stop eating. I mean, have you ever seen a commercial? There's a commercial here for a potato chip. I bet you can't just eat one. Well, I've never heard of a commercial with salmon that says, a pound of salmon, I bet you just can't eat one. I have an old thing, a standard I've used for decades now, called the two pound salmon challenge, the 1 kilo salmon challenge. Eat a kilo of salmon and then get back to me when you're hungry. I mean, finishing a kilo of salmon, you would really have to swim upstream to beat that one. So you don't have to fast, but you really do have to look at your calories in, calories out numbers. You need to make sure, I would suggest keeping a real eye on cardboard carbohydrates. And then one final thing I think might help you and anybody else, I would cycle your protein a little bit in a week. Maybe on the days you do your harder, easy strength days. I don't know how you're working it out, but let's say on Monday and Saturday are the days you kind of go for it on easy strength, more load. On those days, eat more protein. We'll go back. Let's say you need 100 grams of protein a day. If you decided on Mondays and Saturdays do 120, on Tuesdays and Sundays you could do 80. And now that it's just an idea, but for the other listeners, I'm trying to work on a specific issue, on a specific question, and doing my best to help. Bree, I hope that helped. I do. And good luck with your career. First off, as a parent and as a firefighter, those are two pretty important jobs, and I applaud you. Thank you.